Welcome to the Bodhi Academy. My name is Shrutika and today let us learn about the chapter Cell Cycle and Cell Division from standard level. So we all know that cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life because cell performs the basic functions which is required by our body to do all our cellular processes. So a single cell will come together to form tissue. These tissues will come together to form organ, and then it will form the organ system which will do all the life processes which are important in our body. So now let us understand how this cell is able to do all this structural and functional work in our body in our lesson cell cycle and cell division. So first let us understand the meaning of cell cycle. So what is cell cycle? So the sequence of events by which a cell duplicates its genome. So a sequence of cell duplication, that is cell division, where it duplicates the genome, synthesizes other constituents of the cell and eventually divides into daughter cells. Okay, so a single cell with its genome, as in the DNA and RNA material, will divide to form two or more cell. Okay, and from a single cell you will get two or more cell, and this also will divide the nuclear material which is there inside the cell and will form two or more daughter cells. And this cycle, as in this phase of transition from a single cell to two or more daughter cells, is called as the cell cycle. So in this chapter what we will learn is how the cell will move from this single cell, how it will divide to form two or more cells, and we will study how this division is happening in the cell. So DNA synthesis occurs in one specific stage of cell division, but distribution of chromosome in cell occurs in complex series of events during cell division. So which are the phases of the cell cycle? So let us understand how this cell cycle occurs, as in what are the phases or what are the stages the cell undergoes to form new cells. So the cell cycle, the phases of cell cycle, the cell cycle is divided into two basic phases. So the two basic phases are interphase and the metaphase. Okay, and cytokinesis come under metaphase. So the main two phases of cell cycle is cell cycle. The two main phases are interphase and the M phase or metaphase. So this interphase is further divided into three phases, that is G1 phase, S phase and G2 phase. And M phase is divided into further more division, that is prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, and then the cytokinesis. So these are the two phases through which cell cycle occurs in cell, as in cell division from a single cell to two or more daughter cell. How this thing happens through the cell cycle, it is by two phases, that is interphase and M phase. So let us understand these phases in detail now. So first we will see what is M phase. So M phase is basically, this is the mitotic phase or the phase of equational division, as the cell undergoes a complete recognition to give birth to a progeny that has the same number of chromosomes as the parent cell. The other organelles are also divided equally by the process of cytokinesis, which is preceded by mitotic nuclear division. The mitotic division is divided into four overlapping stages. So this M phase will undergo this four stages. That is, first is the prophase, second is the metaphase, third is the anaphase, and fourth is the telophase, which is followed by cytokinesis. So this is about the M phase. So M phase will take place through, first it will undergo prophase, then after prophase it will undergo metaphase, then it will undergo anaphase, then telophase, and after telophase the cell will undergo cytokinesis. So in this phase the cytoplasm of the cell divides. It begins as soon as the mitosis ends. Plant cells are much tough than animal cell, and they have a rigid cell wall and might and high internal pressure. Thus cytokinesis occurs in plant and animal cell differently. Okay, so after the cell, the first phase of the cell cycle is the M phase. It is the mitotic phase. Okay, so here the cell division will take place with the nuclear division. That is, it will undergo prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and the telophase. After this division, the cell will undergo the cytoplasmic division. First, in the metaphase, there will be nuclear division. Then the cytoplasm has to divide, and the cell has to be separated into two different cells. So that time the cytokinesis will take place. So this is about the first phase of the cell cycle, that is M phase. Now let us see the second phase of the cell cycle, that is the interphase. The M phase, we will learn this all these phases in detail in our next class. Okay, so the second phase is the interphase. So interphase is basically the second phase of the cell cycle, also known as the resting phase of the cell cycle. Interphase is the time during which the cell prepares for division by undergoing both cell growth and DNA replication. So in the interphase, cell growth and DNA replication takes place. It copies about 95% time of the overall cycle, and the interphase is divided into three phases. Again, like how M phase is divided into 4 or 5 phases, this interphase is also divided into 3 main phases. The 3 main phases are, first phase is the G1 phase or the gap phase. G1 phase, or it is also called as the gap phase. So G1 phase is the phase of the cell between mitosis and the initiation of replication of the genetic material of the cell. So this is the stage where between the mitosis and the replication of the genetic material of the cell. During this phase, the cell is metabolically active and continues to grow without replicating its DNA. So here cell division takes place, but the DNA replication is absent. So this is about the G1 phase. Then comes your S phase or the synthesis phase. Okay, S phase, or it is also called a synthesis phase. So this is the second phase of interphase. Here the DNA replication takes place during this phase. Okay, so S phase is the phase wherein the DNA replication will take place. If the initial quantity of DNA in the cell is denoted as 2n, then after replication it becomes 4n. So division of the nuclear material, that is DNA, takes place. However, the number of chromosome does not vary. If the number of chromosome during G1 phase is 2n, it will remain 2n at the end of the S phase, and the centrioles also divides into 2 centriole pairs in the cells which contain centrioles. So over here the division of the DNA takes place. This is called as the synthesis phase. And the third phase of the interphase is the G2 phase or the gap 2 phase. So first one is G1 phase, that is the gap 1 phase. Then comes your synthesis phase, that is your S phase, and then comes your G2 phase, that is the gap 2 phase. During this phase the RNA, so during this phase the RNA, proteins and other macromolecules required for multiplication of the cell organelles and spindle formation and cell growth are produced, and this also prepares the cell to undergo mitotic phase. So in this phase, basically the RNA, the protein and other macromolecule which are required for the cell organelles to multiply are formed. So this is about the G2 phase, that is the gap 2 phase of interphase. That is the second phase of cell cycle. So over here we can see, so this is the diagrammatic representation of the cell cycle indicating the two cells which are formed. Okay, so here this is the M phase. So this is your M phase. Your M phase consists of prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase and the cytokinesis. After that, the cell will undergo the G1 phase, that is gap 1 phase. Then it will undergo the S phase, that is the synthesis phase. Then it will undergo the gap 2 phase, that is G2 phase. And this is how the cell division happens in the cell cycle. Okay, the first phase is the M phase, which will undergo prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, cytokinesis. Then it will undergo G1, that is gap 1 phase. Then it will undergo S phase, that is synthesis phase, and then the gap 2 phase, that is the G2 phase. And this all three are comes under what? Interphase. So these are the two phases of cell cycle. So in our today's class, we have learned about what is cell cycle, then which are the phases of cell cycle, that the cell cycle is divided into two phases, that is interphase and the metaphase, that is M phase. And then we have also seen that M phase is divided into prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase and cytokinesis, and interphase is divided into G1 phase, S phase and the G2 phase. So thank you for watching today's video. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to the Bodhi Academy.